Are you thinking about taking a pants sewing course? If so, you might be wondering if it's the right choice for you. In this video, we're going to explore 3 reasons why you might decide it's perfect for you or you might decide to skip it. But before we get there, let me give you a little background on this new resource that we offer at Love Notions. In the last year or so, Tammy, who is the owner and designer at Love Notions, she decided to develop some really in-depth, full-length video courses to accompany her sewing patterns, especially the more challenging patterns. She had been listening to people who had said that they had trouble getting motivated or staying on track, and sometimes even accomplishing those tricky sewing steps. So she decided to create this workshop course to accompany a few select patterns, just to give sewists the confidence that they can not only tackle these intimidating patterns, but they could also end up with a garment that they totally loved and that they felt great in. So far, we have 4 classes, each one for a classic pattern. The Aria button-down, the Metro blazer, legato jeans, and now Duet trousers. With a shirt, a topper, jeans, and trousers, this is basically your whole wardrobe. Every single one of these courses cover every single detail of the pattern sewing process, and they even include extra resources embedded throughout. For example, the Duet Trousers course has a pants fitting section. Later in the video, I'm going to give you like a full look at an actual course lesson for the Duet course, and you can see exactly what is involved. So, why are we making a course for Duet Trousers? What's so great about them? Because if you don't like this pattern, then getting the course is not really going to make sense for you, right? So let's talk a little bit about the trouser pattern that we offer. First, I think this is a great pattern because it's totally classic. It has tapered leg options and straight leg options. And the name Duet really makes sense because you can sew them in both stable knits and wovens. With optional pockets and optional side zipper and the optional full belly adjustment included for all sizes, you'll be able to have a chance at getting a fabulous pair of pants and a sewing pattern that will help you make up a whole closet of bottoms. Plus, this pattern just re-released and now has sizing from 0 to 32. So we added more sizing options at the beginning of the range and the end of the range. If you've sewn with Love Notions patterns before and you've previously purchased Duet Trousers, then you should know that all updates are always free. So if you want this updated pattern, you just go into your account and re-download the updated pattern for free. And just so you're all on the same page with us, we have a sale going on this weekend, April 7th through 9th, that the Duet sewing pattern is going to be included free with a $25 course. So going forward, the course will stay $25, but the pattern will not be free with its purchase. It'll give you a tiny discount, but this weekend is the time to get them. And if you're not interested in the course, the pattern is our $5 feature Friday, so now is a great time to grab it up as well. That is what this video is really going to be focusing on, that course that we just talked about. So let's understand what you're signing up for by enrolling in this course and some reasons why it might be a good fit and some reasons why you might be able to just go ahead and skip it. Reason number 1. A sewing course might be really right for you if you're looking to improve your technical sewing skills. A pants sewing course like this is going to help you visualize and really perfect your sewing techniques and refine your current skills. In this course, you're going to learn about fabric selection, all the adjustments, all the basics about pants fitting, and of course, all of that technical construction. Some people are hesitant to tackle projects with zippers, with slightly more complicated pockets, or maybe you are looking to get some advice on making a really professional garment from the inside out. And this course is going to cover all of those topics in depth. It's all about learning and growing off of the advice of an experienced sewing professional, because throughout every single lesson and step, Tammy is offering you advice and tips to take your projects to the next level. So imagine what that would feel like to create professional looking pants for your own body that you are proud to wear. With a course like this, you can make that a reality. Now let's discuss reason number 2. You want to get motivated. Have you ever heard of sojo? It's that flow that we get into when we are just like in a groove with our sewing and we're happily tackling projects with tons of enthusiasm and energy, and you just can't wait to get going with your sewing project. But sometimes that sojo can just totally disappear. And while you know that sewing is typically a joy for you and it's totally satisfying, you just cannot get that motivation to start or to continue. And so those projects pile up in your works in progress basket. I have totally been there, whether because of sewing frustrations, maybe I made a big mistake with my sewing, or I'm just really not feeling it. I have totally lost my sojo before. And what we're hearing from people who've taken the course is that the course keeps you on track. It helps you prevent those frustrating mistakes that slow you down. It helps you avoid completely stalling out, and it gives you a sense of confidence, and it just keeps you moving step by step by step. Listen, rewatch, rewind, review, look at the close-up. This course can really help you keep momentum and confidence, and it'll keep you on track. Something I love about these courses is that they have like a little progress bar. It's like this little bar that fills in as you go throughout each step. And you can click complete and you just see all of the bar fill up percent by percent by percent. And it's just really satisfying. Not to mention you're watching your project come together in a smooth way. So a sewing course can really help you make the most out of those patterns that are maybe sitting in your downloads folder and that you just haven't gotten around to. Now, reason number 3 that a sewing course could just be exactly the right thing for you. It might be the right thing for you if you want to challenge yourself. I can tell you from experience, as someone who has a really difficult time finding pants that fit in a regular store, making your pants is so rewarding. But we all know that pants are a challenge. They almost always are much more challenging than a top or a cardigan. They are a fitting challenge. Sometimes they're a construction challenge, and they're for sure a challenge to your patience. And this course might be just exactly what you're looking for if you are looking for a challenge. But you also want to end up with a great finished project. Maybe you're a semi-confident beginner, you've sewn a few things, maybe some smaller pieces, and maybe like pants are 2 steps above what your current sewing level is. Well, a course can help bridge the gap between your current sewing skills, and it'll get you ready to tackle that challenge. And that challenge actually has a really awesome result. So taking a sewing course for pants can really give you the structure and guidance that you need to tackle a more complex sewing project that you might normally feel intimidated by. So if you're looking for a harder project, but you still want support, try out a course. Once you've sewn your own pants, you will feel like you can conquer any sewing challenge going forward. But a pants sewing course or a sewing course might not be the right fit for everyone. Here are 3 reasons why you might want to skip a sewing course. Reason number 1, you do not have the time, the patience, or the need. Sewing pants can be a totally time-consuming process. And if you're not someone who enjoys the process of that type of sewing, you might find it frustrating or annoying to sew along with or after a course. And if you start it, but you don't really have the will to go through it, you will likely end up with a finished project. From the start, going through a course will take more time than just reading through a tutorial and going through the sewing step by step. It just will. A course will take more time. But if you do it and you don't have the patience for that type of thing, I would really skip this sort of course. So it's important to be really realistic about your expectations before you start a course. And maybe you don't need it because you're a really proficient sewist already and you already have pants sewing conquered and you feel like this pattern is just going to be a walk in the park. Then of course, a sewing course for it might not be really useful. It might be fun to see, but it might not be as valuable for you as it would be for someone who has less sewing experience and skill. Next, reason number 2 why you might want to skip this sewing course. You don't have the equipment, you don't have the right situation, or you don't have the right space. So obviously sewing pants or sewing anything requires a sewing machine and fabric and all those sewing supplies. But a sewing course requires the right physical situation and maybe some special equipment to get the most out of it, especially if you're constantly interrupted as you watch. Or you don't have a decent sized screen, like you don't have an iPad or a computer or like a TV monitor that you can hook up the course to. Or maybe you don't have noise canceling headphones, or you don't have a relatively silent area where you can concentrate and cancel out all of the distractions. If you don't have those kinds of pieces of equipment, space, and setting, you are going to have a hard time getting the most out of this course. Obviously, one of the benefits of the course is that you're able to start, stop, pause, rewind, and you can really do all the steps on your own time. But if you're constantly getting interrupted or you are having trouble accessing stuff, you don't have the right equipment and space and sewing situation, it can be really frustrating. So one of the things that I like about sewing is that you can start and stop and things stay done, like unlike laundry and cooking and dishes and all that kind of stuff. So you can stop and come back to it. But if you don't have the right equipment or space or situation that's conducive to learning, especially learning for your preferences, a pants sewing course just might not be feasible for you. And that's okay. Because at this point, you've probably been able to sew for yourself no matter what your situation, and you've adapted. And you should just keep on doing what works for you. And if a sewing course works for you in your situation, that's great. But if it's not something that you can really get the most out of right now because of your individual setting and equipment stuff, that's fine too. You can make sewing possible no matter what your situation. And lastly, reason number 3 why the Duet Trousers sewing course might be not so right for you is you're not interested in sewing pants. If sewing pants is not currently and will never be your thing, that's okay. There are plenty of other sewing projects to explore. For some people, sewing pants is too finicky, it's too boring, it takes too long, or it's just too easy to pick up a regular pair already made in a store. Or maybe pants are not something that you typically wear. Why don't you make something that will fit in your closet that you know that you will wear and love? I love a good pair of leggings and I love a nice flowy dress. And if that's the preferred way for you to dress, then I wouldn't worry about trying to fit in a pair of pants that you're never going to use. If you still love the idea of a sewing course, but you're not really looking for bottoms, I would suggest going ahead and taking a look at the Aria button-down course or the Metra blazer course. Those are really fun, and they might be pieces that fit better in your wardrobe than a pair of pants. So if you're still undecided, I'm going to show you a full preview of exactly what you'll see when you go through one lesson of the Duet sewing course. I'm going to show you like a little preview. And you'll be able to see the structure and the setup. And this is the way that all of the courses at Love Notions are put together. So let's take a look. Once you've purchased a course from Love Notions, you'll be able to access that course in your dashboard under your account at lovenotions.com. On the left-hand side of your dashboard, you'll see an option or a tab that says My Classes, and you can just click that and access all of your courses. Once you enter into the course, you'll see a list on the left-hand side that has first the preparatory sorts of lessons about printing, finding your size, doing adjustments, fabric, all of that stuff. And then after that, you'll see all of the separate sewing steps. Now, as you're doing the sewing steps, you'll see all of the different ways to watch. So you can do full screen, you can do picture-in-picture, you can do subtitles or closed captioning, you can do lots of playing around with the speed of the videos if you'd like it to be faster or slower. And inside of each of the lessons, Tammy is going to have several different views for you to see. So she'll have a top-down view onto her cutting mat so you can get a really clear picture of all of her process for putting the patterns together. And then she'll also take you to the sewing machine so you can see up close exactly where to sew and how to sew. And then she'll also give you some instruction, just directly talking to you and giving you some encouragement and advice.
Like I said before, one of the things that I love about the course is that you can keep track of your progress. You can mark a step complete, and then you'll see that bar that's at the very top fill up and up and up, and you'll watch it grow as your project comes together.
So, what did you decide? With all those reasons that we discussed in your mind, did you end up saying yes, that it totally makes sense, or maybe it's something that doesn't really make sense for you right now? I hope that you choose whichever option fits you best, as long as you keep sewing and enjoying the process. And remember, this weekend only, you can get the Duet trouser pattern for just $5. It's regularly $12.50. And if you enroll in the course this weekend, you can get it completely free with that $25 course. So take some time to explore our website, explore this YouTube channel, our social media, our videos, the patterns and the classes, and get whatever you need to keep sewing with great results.